Hello, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I'm Mayor Judy Brown. So we have a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Smith, if you could read that.
Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Perth adopt the agenda for May 26, 2026 council meeting as presented.
Thank you. Those in favor? That's carried. So I will make note that Councillor Waterfield is joining us virtually. I don't know if he wants to divulge location or not. He will be participating in the meeting.
It's a pleasure to be here, Mayor Brown.
So the land acknowledgement, we respectfully acknowledge that the land on which we gather is a traditional home of various indigenous peoples. As we work towards reconciliation, may we all live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with all of its diverse peoples. Does anyone have a pecuniary interest they would like to disclose? Seeing none, we'll proceed. Adoption of the minutes. Deputy Mayor?
Michael, could you scroll that down there? Moved by myself, second by Councillor Barry Smith, be it resolved the Council of Town of Perth adopt the minutes of the April 21st, 2026 regular meeting and the April 30th, 2026 special council meeting.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor? That's unanimous. We have no delegations scheduled, but we do have a couple of joyous presentations. So I will move to the front to do those presentations. So today we've got the pleasure of recognizing an important milestone in municipal leadership and public service.
It's on. It's on.
From the top. Today, we have the pleasure of recognizing an important milestone in municipal leadership and public service. The Long Service Recognition Awards program of the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators celebrates dedication to municipal service and leadership across Canada. These awards acknowledge individuals who have committed their careers to municipal government management, marking significant service milestones beginning at 10 years and continuing in 5-year intervals. This year, it's our privilege to recognize our Chief Administrative Officer, Michael Tao, for 20 years of service in municipal government management roles. He must have started very young. This milestone reflects not only longevity, but also a sustained commitment to leadership, professionalism, and the advancement of municipal administration. It's my pleasure, and please join me to congratulate Michael Tao on this award. You have to come down. A token of appreciation from your council. This is a good night. This doesn't happen often. So again, it's my great pleasure to recognize someone whose craftsmanship, leadership, and dedication to heritage preservation have left a lasting mark on our community. Sean Thompson. For nearly 2 decades, Sean has taught the Heritage Carpentry program at the Algonquin Perth College campus, passing on specialized skills to countless students while mentoring and guiding them into meaningful careers and relationships within the trades and heritage conservation community. Through his teaching, Sean has helped ensure that traditional craftsmanship and restoration knowledge continue for future generations. His contributions across Perth are extensive and remarkable. At Lastduel Park, Sean built and repaired the long building on site. At Ingava, he restored and rebuilt exterior shutters and worked alongside Algonquin Heritage Carpentry students to build and install the driveway gates. His expertise is so respected that he has been an on-call contact from the Ontario Heritage Trust should there be issues at any property. At the Perth Museum, Sean re-roofed the outdoor oven shed with shingles and built the beautiful garden shed used by the volunteer gardeners. It continues. At McMartin House, Sean restored the Belvedere and lanterns, repaired awnings and hopper windows, restored the transom over the front entrance, and completed countless additional restoration projects. Beyond these landmark projects, Sean has worked on many private homes throughout Perth and the surrounding area, helping to preserve the architectural character and heritage that make this community special. Sean's work is more than carpentry. It is stewardship. Through this talent, mentorship, and generosity, he has helped protect Perth's history while inspiring others to carry that forward. And some of you are aware of the Heritage Project that started back in the 1980s and John Stewart's involvement. On behalf of Council and the town of Perth, thank you, Sean, for your extraordinary contributions to our community and our heritage. Congratulations on this very well-deserved recognition by receiving the Heritage Perth Architectural Conservation Award Program for 2025. Sean, if you want to come up and accept our congratulations. I'm being ambushed.
I'm in the right spot?
You are. Yes. Oh, we shake hands and.
Sure.
Okay. Would you like to say a few words?
Well, I was hoping for like a big key. I guess we'll do. Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank
thank you.
Congrats, Sean.
So after all of that excitement and joyous occasion, we'll go on with our agenda for this evening. So Councillor Waterfield, remotely, would you like to read the motion?
Certainly, Mayor Brown. Moved by myself that the following motions listed below in the consent agenda from the Special Committee of the Whole meeting of May 12th, 2026, the regular Committee of Whole meeting of May 12th, 2026, and the Special Committee of the Whole meeting of May 20th, 2026 be passed and numbered accordingly.
Okay, does anybody wish to ask for the removal of any of the items? Councillor Bolt?
Your worship, I'd like to pull the first one, the zoning bylaw amendment for Norchap Developments on 22 Church Street.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll discuss that. A moment. Oh, I'm sorry.
Number 12, please. Number 12.
Okay.
It's the capital, it's the request for proposal to J.L. Richards and Associate for Infrastructure Master Plan.
Yeah. Anyone else? Seeing none? So could I have a mover and a seconder for the amended motion? Deputy Mayor and a seconder? Okay, thank you. Those in favor? Right. So then, we will go to those items. Jim, did you want to speak to number one?
Thank you, Your Worship. I would like council to consider an amendment to the approval for 22 Church Street with respect only to the parking space charge for reducing from 9 to 8 with a charge of $10,000 cash in lieu. And the reason why I would like us to consider that is the fact that I believe that in this particular case, and given the experience we've had with this builder in the past, it's been determined very much by the builder more than us that extra spaces in an existing building that they built some time ago are not being used. And secondly, they're building a 6-unit building with 8 parking spaces that technically requires 9. However, the minimum requirement at 1.5 units per, or sorry, 1.5, correct me if I'm wrong, parking spaces for the number of units would be 9. They're at like 1.33 or 1.35 or whatever. And in fact, they do have the room to put a 9th parking spot in, but in keeping with trying to maintain as much green space as possible, that's why they requested the reduction from 9 to 8. And they've made it quite clear that if they have to put the 9th one in without paying the $10,000, they will do it, but they will destroy, that much more green space. And I think the green space is a very important element. And I think given the fact that in this case, they have almost the complete amount of spaces required, as opposed to a situation, council, where someone comes to us and says, I don't even meet the minimal. We have had cases before us where, let's say they needed 10 spaces and they only had 6 or 7, that kind of thing. So in this particular case, I believe that they do have the actual space, but are trying to keep a part of it, a little bit more of the lot, green space. So I'm asking council to consider an amendment, a friendly amendment to this, whereby we would allow the reduction from 9 to 8, but we would waive the $10,000 cash in lieu. And that's basically what I'd like to be considered. Thank you.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Joanne, I think you have some additional information.
Well, I don't know that I have additional information, just a couple thoughts. We have been having trouble, and I completely respect what you're saying, because I kind of feel along the same veins. But we have been talking a lot about cash in lieu of parking, and that if you can't develop and you need some sort of balance or to help you develop, then the business deal is you pay us 10,000 so we can move forward and create our own parking. I tend to agree with Councillor Bolt that this, I don't think, is a very major item. It's, it's not multiple spaces. It's one. I don't foresee it being a terrible challenge. But again, back when we did Arthur and Cockburn Street, we started this cash in lieu, and I sort of tried to warn you that can set precedent over time. And the same thing, if we make them do it and then waive it, then what's going to be expected, over time from everybody else. The other problem is if they've sort of indicated that you know, they would rather not pay the $10,000 and put the parking space in. I can understand that. The problem there is that then the approval for zoning we've just provided them now has to change because they were given zoning based on that number of parking spaces and that much green space. So if they say, we don't want to pay 10,000, but we want to put the parking space in, they'll have to come for another zoning amendment, pay those fees, and then amend their zoning. The next time we can possibly have a zoning meeting is now August. So it postpones their project by 2 months, and they would have to pay the fees for their zoning application again. So I wouldn't recommend them putting the parking space in, because then they'd have to come back and get approvals for that. But this is a decision for council based on after you've said parking is an issue, we want to be really firm in this and get people to pay $10,000. Or in this case, because as you point out, it is one space, probably not problematic, we're okay to waive it. And that's a decision that is up to council, at council's discretion.
Yes, Jim, go ahead.
So if I could, so you're saying to me that even if we agree to this tonight, they have to still come back and reapply and pay fees all over again if we as a council agree to give them to waive the $10,000? Am I hearing you correctly?
Not quite. If you agree to waive the $10,000, that's up to you. If they were saying, we'd rather not pay the $10,000 and put a space in, then it all has to come back.
All right. That's clear as mud now. Yeah, because I mean, the whole idea is that clearly they would rather not pay the $10,000. And I know everybody in the room is saying, well, you know, here we go, and you're going to set a precedent, and the next guy that comes along and yada, yada, yada. I think that we sometimes, you know, worry too much about the little things, and I say it's little in this case, and don't sweat the more important things. In this case, as I stated at the outset, there is enough room, even if they had to go back through the whole process again, for the 9th spot. They were simply trying to create more green space, which I think is better for everybody. So, I mean, I doubt very much that they're going to want to go back through the whole planning process again. And I think that sometimes we have to take a look at each development that's being proposed on a case-by-case basis, even though we have bylaws that say, you know, it should be this or be that. It's not that long ago, and perhaps you could remind me that we at one point were at 1.25, not 1.50. In fact, they claim that the last building they built was at 1.25. How long has it been since we've jumped from 1.25 to 1.50?
I wasn't around when it was 1.25. My thought would be that there's different levels of parking depending on the number of bedrooms provided. So, for example, a single family dwelling requires 2 spaces. An apartment is 1.5. A bachelor 1-room apartment is 1.25. So it may have been based on a different reality of what was in the building, but I wasn't privy to that at the time.
Okay.
So I don't know. So I think I'm not against your recommendation, not that it's up to me, but I just think to go the route of having them put the parking space in causes more trouble than it's worth. So it should be a decision based on
Either waive or not.
Waive or not. Otherwise it gets really messy.
Okay. So if I could, just one further follow-up. So on that basis, you know, and I want to reiterate that if we were sitting here and there was somebody wanting to build a 12-unit apartment building and they only had 6 spaces, this conversation wouldn't even be had. I think given the entire knowledge of what we're dealing with, where it is, the number of units, the overall space, my proposal or motion or amendment to the motion would be on a case-by-case basis, and in this case, waive the $10,000. If council doesn't agree, then that's fine. But that's what I'd like to put forward. I certainly don't want to see them go forward and have to go through the reapplication process. And I can tell you, I'm sure they tell us all that that is not going to happen. So that's where I stand on it. You can let council take a vote and or rebut, and we'll go from there. Thank you.
So your final recommendation is that we waive the $10,000.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a motion from you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Smith?
Staff to bring back an amendment to parking fees bylaw, so we'll include that in this amendment.
Okay, so well, first of all, discussion. Councillor Byrd?
Thank you, Chair. I understand the argument that the Councillor Bolt is putting forward, specific to this case. Bigger picture, we have discussed at length this policy, and we've changed it just recently. And during the course of that discussion, we talked about, for example, the number of parking spaces, thinking only now in the demographic as opposed to the demographic 20 years from now in relation to buildings. So that came up as part of them saying that they have parking bays that are not used in some of the other buildings. That's now, right now, with the demographic that we have right now. Long term for the parking, big picture, I am concerned that we will be presented by other developers with the argument that we were showing favoritism in some form or another. Apart from setting a precedent, which I think it will do, it'll come up in argument. And then how do we articulate then?
Thank you. I don't believe we had a seconder for the motion. Is there a seconder? Okay, Deputy Mayor. Okay, so the clerk advises me that if we pass this motion, we would have to amend the parking fees bylaw also. Is there further discussion? I'll call the question. Carrie, no? Okay. Those in favor of the motion? Thank you. I believe the motion has passed. Hey, so Councillor Bolt, calling on you again. Could you read number 11, please, the bylaws? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Go ahead, Councillor McCray.
Thank you, Your Worship. Item 12. So this is a request for proposal to J.L. Richards and Associate for Infrastructure Master Plan for $195,860 plus HST. And my question is in regards to further down in our agenda where we talk about the 2025 carry forward. So in the schedule that I received, it says that we are carrying $50,000 forward for the Strategic Infrastructure Master Plan. And I'd like to know how in Section 3 that's reflected in the finances that are before us. And maybe Nev could speak to this.
So through the chair, are you asking about the 50,000 that's in the budget? Sorry, just if you can clarify the question.
On the schedule here that was given in your report, it states for 2025 carry forward, $50,000 for the Strategic Infrastructure Master Plan.
So that specific item was actually for the transportation plan, which is $50,000, which is already underway. So this was something totally different.
So it's a totally different project?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted that clarification. Thank you.
Thank you. That was just for clarification. We have no motion. No. Deputy Mayor. Those in favor of that motion? Thank you. So we are at 10.1, correct? Oh, Councillor McCray. Would you read that, please?
Moved by myself and seconded by Deputy Mayor Ed McPherson, be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Perth, number one, receive for information the presentation from Francine Desjardins and Morel Lapointe, Lanark County Neighbours of Truth and Reconciliation, Perth's Indigenous Spaces in Lastoule Park, as presented at the Committee of the Whole meeting on May the 12th, 2026. And number two, direct staff to bring forward a report regarding the renaming of the Lanark County Neighbours for Truth and Reconciliation Indigenous Healing Circle space encompassing the Medicine Garden and the Healing Garden in Lastoule Park.
Thank you. Is there discussion? Seeing none, those in favor? Any opposed? No? Okay, Councillor Bolt. 11.1.
Thank you, Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Barry Smith. Be it resolved, the Council of the Town of Perth has read the following bylaws a first, second, and third time short, passed and signed by the mayor and clerk. Do I have to read every one of these? No, I didn't think so. Okay.
Is there any discussion? Those in favor? It's unanimous.
Just couldn't hear what we were calling vote on.
Oh, okay, the vote was being called on 11.1, the bylaws. Yes? Oh, you're voting, okay. Thank you. And next we move to number 13. Committee, local board and external board reports and minutes. Let me consult my notes here about county council. So we voted to amend the growth management, which is why involved bylaw an amendment OP 17, and there's a centralized list for daycare. The way it was, people used to put their name on a number of different lists for daycare because space is so limited, and this enables a centralized list, so that happens at a county level. And also we discussed low acuity patient transfers. Sometimes when someone calls for an ambulance, they might need some attention, but not have a really serious injury. So we need to be able to separate those from high acuity cases, like a heart attack, for instance. So the ambulance would not be sent as quickly for in the first case. And for the hospital board, we today there was two candidates presented themselves for chair of the board for the next year. So we voted remotely. I don't know the results yet. So the hospital continues, like most hospitals, to operate at a deficit. The province does give us money to compensate, but it's never enough. Deputy Mayor, did you have anything to add about county council?
They gave us a very eye-opening presentation on the number of homeless people in Lanark County, as well as the challenges in housing people. The numbers are going up drastically, and it's Perth, Smith Falls, and Carleton Place are the three main areas that it's happening.
Okay. Climate Change Advisory Panel. Councillor Smith or Councillor McCray, which of you wishes to comment?
I can, and
Okay.
Barry, if you wanted, if Councillor Smith wants to jump in, is that okay? So the meeting was on May the 21st. Tony Hendricks and Don McKenzie, they gave an update on the solar options. And we're hopefully waiting for a possible date for a report back from staff, but we realize there are other pressing priorities. Kirsten Browse reported on the Transportation Master Plan submission. I talked a little about the reuse center. I have reached out to Ron Ferguson, Director of Education with the Upper Canada School Board, and Shelley Montgomery from the Catholic School Board of Eastern Ontario to ask for possible volunteers for the reuse center. And also there is a grant available to nonprofits for $5,000, of which they might be able to use for composting in the high schools like they did at Carleton Place High School. And there was a communication plan was presented. Unfortunately, our meeting was kind of a little bit longer than we anticipated. So I've reached out to Suzanne Leperle, and she's going to put that at the top of the agenda and work with Kirsten to do that for the next Climate Change Advisory Panel meeting.
Thank you. Barry, did you wish to add anything? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You just take your microphone back. It was an interesting meeting. There's a building which contains the butchery down Gore Street, and they have someone to put in 39 new windows. That's on 3 sides of the building, I believe. And one of the committee members on the HPAP committee is an architect. And you probably all know that. But he had an issue with this, and he thinks that we should table that motion and pick new colors. So he has asked that Kirsten, one of the members of the panel, speak to the owner of the building and try and get the owner to change his mind on the, I think, as I recall, it's a very pale green. And he claims it doesn't go with the stone and a lot of other issues with it. And Catherine did a presentation on the Perth Museum Master Plan. And that's about it.
Okay. Thank you. Next is the OPP Detachment Board.
Nothing to report this time.
Thank you. Jim, Striking Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. So we had a meeting at the striking committee. There were a couple of applications, and as a result of that meeting, moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Ed McPherson, as recommended by the striking committee. Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Perth appoint the following council member to the Lanark County Natural Heritage System Strategy Municipal Advisory Working Group, and that person being Gary Waterfield, Councillor Gary Waterfield, until the end of the current term, council term.
Thank you. Okay. Yes, we need to vote on that. Those in favor? That's unanimous. Councillor McCray, the Lanark County Climate Action Working Group.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the meeting was held on May the 12th. And it was an update of the 2026 Climate Action Work Plan, which included the Better Homes Lanark project, which has been in operation since June of 2025, with 155 pre-applications received, 138 deemed eligible. The average energy reduction is 47% and the greenhouse gas reduction 65% for those involved. And in Perth, 14% of our population have participated in these projects. They have a municipal climate grant up to $7,500 per municipality for climate-related projects. There are applications open as well for $5,000 for community groups, nonprofit or charitable organizations. And Carleton Place High School used this and actually presented a composting program at their school. There was a brief talk about the natural heritage system. And upcoming projects is the Fall Tree Giveaway, 2025 green gas emissions inventory, and county will be hiring a consultant to create a county-wide climate adaptation plan to capture risks, vulnerabilities to climate change, health, food security, sovereignty, environmental hazards, etc.
Thank you. And this is only a beginning. BIA is next.
Okay. The BIA meeting was held on April the 29th. Our next one is tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. There was discussion regarding Maple Fest. There's going to be a survey sent out to BIA members. There will be talk on communities in bloom, and that was going to be placed on our next agenda. Stewart Park Festival is needing a new social media manager. The BIA made suggestions to a welcome package to support new businesses and suggested a budget line item protocol developed for when new businesses open. And there are new businesses on 40 North Street, 40 Gore Street, 9 Wilson, and conversations with our chair and our manager with the service providers. The strategic open house was held on March the 30th, and it went very well. And the Stewart Park Festival received $15,000 from the Ontario Traction Grant.
And I'm thinking you're going to do Chamber of Commerce next.
Okay, I'm just moving around here, moving along here.
I've got
Okay, so the Perth and District Chamber of Commerce, we're preparing for our annual golf tournament on August the 12th at Mapleview Golf and Country Club on the Scotch Line. We continue to work on our strategic plan and our goals. And the way we're tackling this is at each meeting, we set a time aside to work on it. And we're doing that hand in hand with updating our governance documents. And just to remind people that the BOSSI conference, which is Women in Business, the theme is Celebrate, Connect, and Inspire. And that's happening on June the 9th, 2026.
Okay. believe Kathy, have we hired somebody for the business retention and expansion? We have, so they will be starting to work soon with both Chamber and BIA. Okay. Library, Councilor Waterfield.
Mayor Brown, with regards to the library, on May the 5th, I met with CEO Erica Heeson to discuss a possible delegation at AMO with regards to library funding. I might as well continue with the RVCA. Multiple meetings highlights include April 23rd, I chaired a board meeting. On April 26th and 27th, I was in Toronto at the Conservation Ontario Annual General Meeting. As you would expect, the major discussion was around the upcoming merger of conservation authorities. A very, very busy 2 days. Also, I would like to notify you and the public that on Saturday, June the 13th, at the head office of the RVCA at 3889 Rideau Valley Drive North in Manotick, we will be having a day-long celebration of 60 years of conservation leadership in the Rideau Valley. Kicks off at 9:45, goes to 3:15. It's going to be an exciting day of exhibits and demonstrations, and the admission is free of charge. I will be there, of course. It's going to be a really fun day. I've been involved in discussions about this event and encourage the public to attend. With regards to the Traffic Advisory Working Group, we have not met since the last council meeting. That's my report, Mayor Brown.
Thank you. So 13.13, Councilor McCray.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Barry Smith. Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Perth receive the Council Committee, local boards, and external reports minutes as presented.
Thank you. Those in favor? Carried. So we have no new business. Are there any questions from the media? No. Thank you. Our next meeting date for council is June 23, 5:30 p.m. I'll be chairing. And we will now be going into a closed session. So Councillor Bird, you have a motion?
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McCray, that the Council of the Town of Perth resolve itself into closed session at 6:12 p.m. pursuant to the Municipal Act 2001 for the following purpose. 1. Potential sale of town-owned lands legally described as part lots 27 and 28, concession 10, geographic township of North Elmsley, subject to subsection 239(2). C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. F, advise that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. I, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group or persons, or organization. And, just have to shift down a bit. K, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board.
Thank you. Those in favor? And we'll be meeting in the Sunshine Room. A motion for council to rise and report, Barry. That's 18.
Which one is it, Mayor? Okay. Be it resolved that the council of the town of Perth rise and report from closed session at 6:32 PM.
Thank you. Those in favor? Okay. So in closed session, council number 1, approved closed session meeting minutes. And number 2, discussed a proposed disposition of land, town-owned lands. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor David Byrd, be resolved that the council of the town of Perth adopt the recommendations in the CAO staff report as presented in the closed session.
Okay, those in favor? Okay. So number 19. Councillor Byrd.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor McCrae. Be it resolved that the Council of the Town of Perth pass bylaw number 5275, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the Council of the Town of Perth at its meeting held 26th of May 2026.
Thank you. Those in favor? It's unanimous. And 20, Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Barry Smith, be resolved the council of the town of Perth adjourn the May 26, 2026 council meeting at 6:37 PM.
Thank you. Those in favor? Okay, it's unanimous.
Okay,
Good evening, everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, folks. Take care.
Thanks.